What's going on, everyone? You know who it is already. So, I haven't made a live stream or a video on this in over 7 months at this point. I think it is the last time I checked. Um, so I just wanted to get back in there and make an official last live video that I'm going to be doing on my YouTube channel. There hasn't been really any activity on my Instagram either. Last time that I posted on there was back in January, so I'm gonna let you guys know what's been going on. So, uh, basically, in general, my life has taken a huge shift. I'm not, home a lot of times. Last year I took up a job at a supermarket. I don't have that job anymore. I actually quit a month back because I need to focus on some other things in my life. But anyway, there hasn't been a whole lot of time for my Lego hobby, and that's just because I don't have the time anymore. I can't sit down and spend hours building anymore. I can't do that. But I have been able to do a little bit of building recently because we are going on to April vacation for my school right now. So, I kind of got back in there a little bit and did a little bit of work with my Legos, but not much. It's kind of sparse. I don't do it as much anymore. I don't really have a huge interest in doing it. I still enjoy it sometimes, but it's not my number one main focus in life right now. So, but anyway, I kind of want to have a more cheerful tone to this video, even though it is my last one on YouTube for now. But I'm going to go ahead and show you some of the updates that I've made at least. So what you're looking at right now is a 2016 Dodge Charger Pursuit vehicle that I put together today, unmarked unit. Take a look around that. I'm not sure how I feel about this at the moment. I'm going to let it sit overnight, maybe take another look at it tomorrow morning, but I think for what it is, it looks okay for now. Tried to kind of emulate the little inset, like recess into the door frames right here and the little angle that they have there. Again, I'm not sure exactly how I feel about that. The back, I think, looks okay. This part's sticking out by half a plate. Still not sure how I feel about that. For now, I think it's okay, but there was really no other way that I would be able to get that look there and still have the sides covered without doing that. So I think to have this tail light right here look the way it does, I think that was a worthy compromise that I had to make. The only other thing that I don't really like about this is this slope right here. I think it's a little bit too short. Maybe if I could bring down the back just a little bit. But the thing about the Dodge Charger is that the top of it kind of has this upward rake. Of course, I don't really want to do this to the entire car because the bottom of it doesn't have that rake. It just is completely flat on the bottom. It doesn't have a towards the back upward rake or anything. So I tried my best to emulate the fact that the rear section right here is actually taller than the hooded section right here. So, I don't know. I think it worked out okay. I just might want to drop that down a little bit sometime later. But other than that, I think it looks good. This is my new style of spotlight right here. Last time I made a video, my police cars looked very different. So I think I need to show you guys what my police cars look like now. Now, I'm not sure how many of you actually follow me on my Instagram. I'm gonna try and move some of this stuff out of the way. But anyway, on my Instagram, I gotta change the name that I have for it on this platform just because it's not accurate anymore. But the new name for my Instagram is City of Bearcat, I believe it is. So you can go ahead and look that up on Instagram, anytime you want, if you want to follow me there. But if you already follow me, then you'll probably have seen these cars a while ago, like back in November. So, bear with me if you've already seen these. But if you're new to seeing these, you just follow me on my YouTube right here. then, this is a kind of new step. So I have renamed the city from Brick Angeles to Brickhattan. I'm trying to go with a more East Coast style of feel to my city. In the past, it used to be called Brick Angeles, and I tried to go for a West Coast sort of Los Angeles style to my city. Now I'm kind of bringing it back to the East Coast where I live, and I'm trying to influence the city with things I've seen in New York and Boston. I am trying to bring in a little bit of, I guess, San Francisco related stuff into the city too, just because I like it. I think it would look interesting. Um, this is really all stuff that I'm talking about in the future, though, not right now, because right now my room is no longer dedicated to Legos like it was before. I only have these tables for my stuff right now, and even that, there's nothing there. You can see that I got a TV over there, so I can't fit anything. I've got some Prismacolor pencils over there. So yeah, you can see that my room is no longer devoted to the Lego hobby like it was before. It's a whole lot different. So, anyway, back to the police cars that I was mentioning before. With the change, I decided to change my police cars. I wasn't happy with the all-white color scheme with the blue stripes going through them. So what I decided to do was go for the almost classic American white on black design. This is actually pretty much what American police departments started out with when American police departments first started. This is what they had. They did white on black, and that has prevailed to this day in the majority of departments across the country. A lot of the departments around where I live use this same color scheme. So, I decided might as well. And I think it looks really good. This is much better than what I had before, and I'm much happier with it. The design for my Crown Victorias has not changed since the last time you guys saw them. I don't believe if you guys seen the updated version of my FPIUs, but I think you have. But I'm going to show you to those anyway. So you've got two of these now. I used to only have one of them. This one I put together a few days ago. This one I've had for a while. But these are the new designs for at least the color scheme. And you can see that I have the new spotlights for all of these. These are actually using a 1x1 tile piece right here, transparent tile piece, on top of this relatively new piece that came out in 2017. And that just fits onto a clip that's on the hood right there. You can see that I've got a communications array on top here, and the back, I incorporated some of that white into the back end of them too. It's a little bit hard to see where the window up here meets the rest of the body just because it's all black. If I had some of those bracket pieces up here in dark gray, I would use them, but I don't think they make those specific bracket pieces like that in dark gray yet. So I just use black. But once I find them in that dark gray, the window sections I'm going to change just so you can see them better. And you can see that front, what company is all of the trucks made by? Yeah, that's another thing too. With the change of my city, again, if you follow me on my Instagram, you already know this, but my city basically got taken down. I decided I don't want to have a huge city anymore. Whenever I start making a city again, I want to start from scratch. So it was gone with all the fire trucks. All the trucks I completely took apart because what I want to do is go for an 8-wide style now. Just because it fits my 6-wide style of building cars like this much better. I used to have 6-wide fire trucks, which did not look good next to the 6-wide police cars that I have, and I didn't want to change the police cars to 4-wides just because I wouldn't be able to have the same amount of detail on them, and I really do like my police cars, so I decided to keep them. But anyway, yeah, that's the problem. I don't have the fire trucks anymore. They're all been taken apart, and I didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to make my police cars smaller in any way. Even 5 wide, I didn't want to go with these. I like the 6 wide style for my trucks. I like the 6 wide style for my cars and pickup trucks, and I like the 8 wide style for the large commercial trucks. So anyway, that's that. You can see that I have the clear light bar up here. This is indicating it's LED. So when this is switched on, then it's obviously going to flash all blues. So I'm going to move these guys off to the side for now, because I want to show you guys my slightly updated Bearcat. This hasn't been changed a whole lot since you saw it last. I did change the top roof up here. Thanks, man. Yeah, that was a decision I made. I definitely wanted to change them because I didn't want to go with the white. And that was partially because it was like the pieces were yellowing. I have a lot of white pieces, but a lot of them are yellowing. So I had to say to myself, if I introduce a little bit of black into that color scheme, I'm not going to have to use as many yellowed white colors. But anyway, this is, again, updated Bearcat. Updated this a few days ago as well. The hood was updated a little bit. Made this, what pieces do I use for these police cars? Mainly, it's the Speed Champions wheels and rims. Those are pretty common now since the theme has been around for, I want to say, 3 or 4 years at this point. I do use these windshields up here. These transparent plates I use for the bottoms of the windows. And, I mean, I could go into a detailed part list on my Instagram. I'm actually, yeah. I think I'm gonna, give me 1 second. Here, I'm gonna write my Instagram's name on a piece of paper, put it on the back wall so you all can see it. And you all can see what's going on with that. Alright. So, anyway, going back to the Bearcat there, I updated the bumper a little bit too. You can see that it's now a 7 wide bumper. I just wanted to give it a little bit extra beefiness to it, just because I felt like a 6 wide bumper would be far too skinny for this type of truck. And I think that's all I did. Back is still the same. The running boards down here are the same. Everything's pretty much the same. So anyway, my Instagram name is, let's see. God, I'm bad at spelling today. Okay. I want you guys to be able to see this, so. Okay. This guy's giving me some trouble here. Okay. Yeah, I think you can kind of see that. Ignore the capital letters because, you know, obviously Instagram names don't use capital letters. But anyway, what was I saying again? Oh, yeah. My police department. So with the change of the color scheme and the overall look of the city in general, the whole idea of what I'm trying to do with it, I decided that it's best to change the look of the police station in general, because what I was going for in the original one was a modern style, something that would have been built very recently, but this time I wanted to go for an older style of building, closer to the direction that the modular buildings take. So this is what I came up with for that. And it's a big guy. It's not even going to fit in screen because it's so large. I'm going to try though. Okay, so you're seeing the base of it right now. The very bottom floor of it. So if we zoom out a little bit, you can see it a little bit better. But let me take you all the way back to really take this in. So, very, very big building. In terms of overall length, It's actually short. It's actually shorter than the old police station, but it's much deeper. So there's a whole lot more usable space throughout the entire station. There's a proper little parking space for police cars, and this is kind of where you take your inmates in. This is your back entrance into processing. And then you got your front area right here with some flagpoles here. I need to make some flags put on those. But anyway, that's kind of what you're getting at. There's some more detailing up on the roof there, and I'll probably end up taking you guys inside in a minute, but I just want to give you guys a size comparison of what this looks like next to the police vehicles. So this is what you see. So overall, I like this design a whole lot better. Looks much better next to modular buildings, and I just get a whole lot more usable space. And speaking of that usable space, this is a problem I had in my last station, where parts of the other floor would come off, and I take off the thing. But anyway, get on to the interior. Again, whole lot more usable space. Holding cells, processing area, still processing. This is a bathroom. Front entrance. This is a small locker and break room. And this is a sergeant's office right there. Not going to go into a whole lot of detail right here. Again, if you really want to see more detailed pictures of this, I'm going to be uploading some of them on my Instagram, and I'll probably be doing a few live streams on my Instagram just to keep this thing going a little bit, but I won't be posting on my YouTube anymore. As if I had been posting regularly this entire time. I mean, come on, my last upload was 7 months ago. I think for the window of me making regular uploads to the site has gone away at this point. But anyway, second floor, armory. This is another office. This is a office right here for the, I don't know what you'd call this, probably like a district chief or something like that. Anyway, this is another office, some desks for patrol officers. And then the third floor is actually unfinished at this point, but I can show you what it looks like for now. But I haven't put a whole lot of thought into this. I just kind of cobbled together with the last remaining things that I could think of to have. And you can already see that this has so much more space and so many more rooms than my old station had. But anyway, third floor, this is supposed to be your conference and meeting room, evidence locker, your interrogation room. This is supposed to be, the see-through mirror type thing, the two-way mirror. Of course, I had to use just a simple, part there, like window piece, but you kind of have to use your imagination for that. And then another little desk out front there, and a very large open walkway. And that's pretty much all you get for now. It's a pretty large station, and it's not supposed to be the headquarters of the department. It's supposed to be a single precinct in a much larger department. So I kind of did what I felt was necessary. There might be too much stuff for a simple precinct, but I just wanted to fit a lot of different police elements into one building without making a huge headquarters. So, I think that's all I really have to say about what I've done so far with police-wise, at least. But I have a few more things to show you just to round this up. So, I'm going to start off with the ambulance right here. this was an update that I made. It's a So this is a 2017 Ford F450 right here for the cab. I posted this on Instagram. At one point, I wasn't really feeling this windshield just because I thought it was too short, but then I took a looks at other, Ford some of the new F series trucks and stuff, and then I realized that the slope right there for the windshield, if I use any other part, and I have tried to use other parts, they're just way too steep. So this was what I came up with, and I think it looks good. Um, I'm not 100% happy with the hood right here. This is supposed to be angled down just a little bit. I think it still looks pretty good from the front because that's design I've kept throughout pretty much all of my F-Series trucks that I put together. Again, with that front end, can definitely be better, but I think it's good for what it is. Of course, the back is your average Horton box, and I do have all my lighting and stuff. Go around to the other side, you've got windows, side door right here. I didn't mark out cabinetry with the large gray bricks or anything. I decided to kind of inset it. You can still see where the outlines are because I didn't build plates through where the hinges would be. I just built up these sections and placed them in. And I think you can kind of tell where the cabinets are, and it looks a whole lot more realistic. And I'm pretty happy with it. Tried to get a little bit of, stripe going through the diagonal paint going through there using just a simple, printer paper thing that I taped on there. And that's pretty much it for that. If you on my Instagram, I have more detailed pictures of this when I first made it. At first I wanted to go with a gray color scheme, but I didn't like that. I felt like it was too desaturated. So I decided to go for the red on white, and I went for the white going through the entire top and just a white stripe going through the bottom there. And I'm pretty happy with how that turned out, even though, I had to use a brick for this rather than plates. You can see where it's not lined up. That doesn't bother me a whole lot because the top at least lines up. And even though this doesn't line up, I'm still okay with it. And that's all I really have to say about that. So let's move on to the last little update that I have to show you guys. This is a public works / highway department utility truck right here. I guess it's not really a utility truck. It's more of a dumper tipper truck. The stickers, I printed those off of, I went on my Microsoft Word, and I just printed those off, made a red background, and just, typed those out and printed them out on my printer. Really pretty simple. Nothing too fancy there either. And that's really all there is to that. So back to this. This is a 2011 International Workstar for the cab. Generic back end. I don't really know the name of this. But anyway, I tried to get in as much detail as I possibly can. And this is where the 8 wide design for all of my trucks come in. This is what I'm going to be going with into the future with the 8 wide style for fire trucks, for any larger, like semi rigs or anything like that. So you're not going to see trucks that are the same width as, police cars, pickup trucks, or SUVs. They're going to be somewhat properly scaled to what the other vehicles look like. You can't get too proper with scaling when it comes to Lego because you can try and get close, but in the end, it's just plastic bricks and it's not a realistic modeling system. So anyway, this is actually meant to be used in the winter as a snowplow though. So you have this sander bed that gets placed on there in the winter, and the plow, I took that apart. It actually fell into a bin and it actually got all messed up and I can't find the pieces again, but that is meant to connect right down here. And there's a chain that links up to this bar bracket right there, and you have these little spotlights up here that reach over the plow. so you can still, have spotlights even though these will be blocked. But yeah, that's all there really is to that. Except for down here, you can see that I tried to include that drive shaft, a smokestack, little exhaust vent there or whatever. I'm not really too picky about the technical names of everything. I know some people are. I've gotten some comments on my older videos of saying, "Oh yeah, learn the terminology before you make the video, bud." And I'm like, guys, chill, just chill. It's a YouTube Lego video. Yeah, it's actually supposed to be a 2016 Charger. Did what I could. Eh, might revisit it tomorrow or later in the week. I don't think it's as good as I was hoping it to come out. But anyway, I'm going to finish this off. You got mud flaps down here, and then the little end of the tipper, the sander, and a little orange warning light. And I built the whole bed with a studs on the side construction for that, for the sides, and I think that looks pretty nice. And I was still able to have space for the sander bed, including, having this whole part that reaches up over the top. And I'm happy with how this turned out. I'm not going to change anything on it because I love it. And you'll be seeing the designs like this in the future. Speaking of the future, that's really why I made this video. So, as you guys know, as I've pointed out earlier in the video, my life is no longer dedicated to be doing these all the time. I can't sit down on the daily and pump out new Lego mocks. So, really, this is kind of a farewell of sorts because I'm still going to be active on my Instagram, but you're not going to see it as much. So, you're not going to see any new huge city blocks being put together. I don't have my tables up anymore. I have these, but they're being used for my kind of art hobby and just holding my TV up. And that's about it. Because this is actually stored underneath one of my tables. I don't have it up on the table all the time. So, there's that. But anyway, future. So, my life is taking a drastic shift. About 2 months from now, I am heading off to Missouri to Fort Leonard Wood, where I will be trained as a military police officer and go through basic combat training for the Army. I enlisted back in November, and that's also the time that you saw my interest in Lego decrease, which kind of makes sense because these past few months have all been leading up to my eventual ship-off date, which will be in July. So really, this is going on the back burner. And for the next 5 years of my life, that's how long my active duty contract is going to be for military police. I will not be focusing on this hobby almost whatsoever. Most of my time would be spent living on barracks, living on bases, traveling all over the place. Who knows where? I may end up in Germany or Korea for all I know. But anyway, I'll obviously be spending a lot of time back here in the States, probably hopping from base to base, depending on what they want to do with me. And, I'll have temporary leaves of absences, which is usually about a month. Is what I read. I'm going to have to ask my uncle or my recruiters about that. But anyway, when I can, I'll do this. I might build a car or two. So for the next 5 years, this will all kind of be stored away. I'm just keeping this stuff out because I want to work on it a little bit. But, once that day comes, I'll probably put this in the closet, for safekeeping. I don't want anyone touching it. Obviously, I don't want this getting completely destroyed because regardless, all this is staying together because afterwards, however my life, pans out after that, my ultimate goal is NYPD. I think I've stated that a few times. But anyway, once I get settled, I think the hobby will come back to me. And I've kept all my modular buildings, so, rebuilding a city isn't going to be that hard. So, there's that. So I'll still have this, when I get back. I'll still have this, in the future. So that's why I'm thinking about the future. And speaking of that, you know, I've already got a few plans. With the style of the city, how I want to kind of lay it out, you know. And again, I'll probably forget about this stuff and revisit it eventually. But for now, I think this is really it. And I want to keep talking, but I don't think I can. I did want to show you guys where I keep my modulars right now. So, in my closet, I actually bought this shelving unit a while back to store these guys right here. And then I have these guys. I got the detective's office down there because I was actually placing it next to this to see how the other modulars would look. So anyway, that's about it. There are some other Lego bins down here. I got the Mac Anthem truck down there buried under all my clothes and stuff. And then I have a few Lego bins that I was using to work on the police cars and such. But that just about wraps this video up. I'm going to give you guys one final send-off because for YouTube, this is it, guys. This is all I have to say. Go follow me on my Instagram, City of Bearcat. You'll be able to find me, I'm sure. So, that's going to be it. I will see you guys in the future or on my Instagram.